What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today with the review for Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 5, I believe, reunion Part 2, you guys. So before we go ahead and get into this reunion Part 2, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys can do me that favor by liking the video, you guys, subscribing to the channel, and turning on your post notifications. And with that out the way, without further ado, let us go ahead and discuss Love and Marriage Huntsville Reunion Part 2, shall we? So you guys, we pick up where we left off in Part 1 of the reunion, with Letitia talking to us about the fact that she had found a naked photo in Marceau's phone. So I have so many questions when it comes to this one, because this one it made absolutely no sense. And I want to be honest with you guys, in this particular point, I believe Kiki, right? So what happened is Letitia said that she was going through Marceau's phone, right? And she found a message from a girl, and it was an ass shot, right? With hearts on it. So Carla was like, so you found a picture in Marceau's phone and the girl's ass had hearts on it? She says, no. Marceau liked the picture. He gave it a thumbs up. And I was like, wait a minute, say what? So a woman felt comfortable enough to send Marceau a picture of her ass, and he gave it a big thumbs up. Why would you do that? And you're a married man, right? So, you know, Tisha's talking about how before she went to him, she did her research. So Carlos says, so what did that research show? She said, it didn't show anything. There was nothing there. So Carlos questioned Marceau, right? And he says, so how did this come to be? So Marceau said that he was interviewing this girl and that, you know, she then sent him the picture. Now, I have so many questions when it comes to this, right? How did she send the picture? Because she said he thumbs up, right? So did she text it to you? Because Letitia says that this was about 14 years ago. Marceau said 12 years ago. Kiki said that's not true, right? Now, with the iPhones, we've only just within the last it hasn't even been that long that you could respond to a text message, like ha, or all of that kind of stuff. It's only recently that you've been able to do that. So, and even with Instagram, that has, so I don't believe Tisha when she said that this has been 14 and him saying 12 years ago. I don't believe that. I think it's been because they say it was before the show. Okay, it could be before the show, but I definitely don't think it's been no damn 12 and 14 years. It just doesn't sound like that. Doesn't sound like that's what it is, right? And then he said he was interviewing a girl. So were you interviewing a girl for, because when he said interview, I was thinking, were you interviewing her for Black? I know he worked at a movie theater, but was he a manager at the theater? Like, so many questions came along with that, right? But then the thing is, Kiki said that Marceau responded to the text message or whatever it was, right? The message, and said, a midday work surprise. Marceau says he didn't do that. And Kiki said, yes, you did. And even Tisha said, yeah, you did. Because Kiki said that, not Kiki, but Letitia says that she took a screenshot of it and sent it to Kiki. I mean, me personally, is it a smoking gun? Not necessarily, but it does give just a slight bit of validity to those rumors. It gives a little bit of validity to it, but not a lot, right? Because even if this, and then he also did say that, since the show that women have been DMing him, stuff like that. And I'm like, really? And it's not shocking or surprising, right? Because I'm pretty positive they do it with all these men that are on reality TV. Women jump into their DMs every day, sending them stuff, just like I feel like men do it to women, send them, unsolicited penis pics and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like it can go around for both sexes, right? Especially when it comes to reality TV. So Carlos asked Miss Wanda, did you know about this? And Miss Wanda says, Kiki, Tisha didn't tell her nothing about this, but she feels like cheating is cheating. And I was like, I know Miss Wanda, of all people, ain't talking about cheating. It's cheating when you got a husband and a boyfriend. Remember you told us that? So she feels like, if you look at another person's ass, if you lust after somebody, that's cheating. The lust part, I will give her. The looking at somebody's ass, I mean, we're human. And Maurice said, well, I'm guilty. I was like, Maurice, zip it. But I feel like that was them editing. I feel like that was editing playing with us at that point. Because Kimmy looked, I feel like that was editing playing with us. I feel like that was editing. So we're still talking about Letitia and Kiki, right? So Carlos asked, Letitia about, knowing if Kiki was coming on the show. She said, yeah, Kiki told me that Melody wanted her to come on the show. But what she didn't do was she didn't tell me what she said to Melody about me. And Kiki says that that's not true. And, Letitia says that the people who were at the Christmas party were the ones who told her what Kiki said. And we saw that happen on camera. That Kimmy went back and told Letitia the conversation that Kiki was having at Melody's. So Kiki is over here saying that that's a lie. And then Kimmy chimed in and said, Kiki, you're not telling the truth because at Melody's party, you wanted to bring that up in front of everybody. And I said that this is not the place because it looks like we are talking about Letitia. And instead of you doing it here in front of these people, have the conversation with Letitia. So Kiki is saying that that's not true. Run the footage. Well, they ran the footage and everything that Kimmy said, she repeated verbatim what happened. So yeah, Kiki, you look like a liar. So, so then we move back over. So we're talking, Marcel chimed in. So Marcel wanted to bring up the situation that, they were talking about the whole Kiki, doing drugs and telling Melody and Martell, right? So Marcel wants to get to the bottom of it and kind of clear the air that, when they told the Holts at the time that it wasn't in a laughing manner. And so Carlos says, well, Kiki, who told you? She says, Melody told me, right? And then so Marcel was talking to Martell and he was like, so Martell, when we told you that, were we laughing when I said, was I laughing when I said it? Martell said he doesn't remember, but Melody says it was definitely in a laughing manner and they laughed about it all of season 1. Really? Did they not air it? Because I don't remember it from season 1, but they went back and forth, right? So Kiki, now here's the thing that blew me with Kiki, right? So Kiki is talking about the fact that, so when she told Letitia that she was dealing with had the issues with drugs, Letitia was very supportive of her and took her to rehab. And Letitia said, yes, I did do that. And, she says, she knows how Marceau is, right? She doesn't believe that Marceau would say it in a joking manner. And I was like, so if you felt that way, why did you? My only issue with Kiki is the fact that you definitely let Melody use you. Like Melody used you as a pawn. Y'all might not agree with me when I say that, but it's the truth. Like Kiki got used like a pawn and a puppet. We're not gonna talk about the puppets, but she did kind of get used by Melody. Let's just be real about that. Y'all can love Melody all y'all want, but Melody knew what she was doing when she brought Kiki on the show. But that was the end of the segment with Kiki, so let's pause here and move forward. All right, you guys. So next up, we talk about the events that happened at Destiny reopening Madani. So we showed a package, and then I'm not going to get into the semantics of what happened because I don't care, to be quite honest with you guys. We watched it happen on the show, and we talked about it already. So Melody was saying that she never approached Miss Wanda, that she only approached Bernard. Now I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't remember that episode, so I don't know what Melody is saying is true or if what Miss Wanda said was true. But Ms. Wanda says that that's not what happened. Well, let me backtrack. Melody says she addressed Bernard, right? Because Bernard, I guess, got on Ms. Wanda's live and said he had a chopper for her, which I don't know what that means. But he said that, right? Allegedly. So Melody says after she addressed him, then Ms. Wanda chimed in. But Ms. Wanda says that's not true. Ms. Wanda says that you and your mama came out there and you was on your live and saying that, you know, you gonna get the shit started. Now, she didn't say she's gonna get the shit started. I do remember Melody's live. Melody's live was, you know, she was talking to the mellometers. Very weird name for her base, her people that support her, mellometers. But she was talking to the mellometers, right? Now, y'all know how Melody is. Melody is very passive aggressive. So, because I guess somebody in the comments said to her, you know, blink twice if you need help. Blink twice if I need help. Oh, y'all know I don't need no help. Y'all know I can take care of myself just fine. In front of Ms. Wanda. So I was like, okay, Melody, girl, set yourself off, right? So Ms. Wanda says she then came around the table and she addressed Melody. I do remember Mel being on a live. I do remember, because I remember that Saturday that they were filming that. I remember Melody, I actually got on that live. Something just said, just get on this live. And I got on that live, and as soon as I got on that live, she had to hop off because the producers did come to her and tell her to get off of live. I do remember that one. The only part of the live that I did not get on was when the fight happened. But so, and I do remember Miss Wanda she did walk around that table, but Miss Wanda, I think, cause Melody made mention of them nasty looking ass potatoes. I don't care, to be quite honest with you guys, but we know how it happened. Y'all know how it happened. We're not gonna rehash it. So Ms. Wanda says that Bernard never addressed Melody on her live. She said he was there, but he didn't address her. Now that part, I definitely can't answer for you. You guys know how I am about Love and Marriage Huntsville. I don't keep up with these people outside of the show. If it's not on the show, I don't know about it. If it's on the show, then I know about it. But if it's not, I don't watch their lives. I don't do none of that stuff. And I think that's one of the issues that I have with Love and Marriage Huntsville is the fact that, you know, while the show sometimes is airing and they're still filming, which they're currently filming for the next season. Now, I don't know I haven't saw anything on social media here lately about what's going on in this current season. And I think that's a good thing. Keep some of the shit, keep it at bay. So that way, when we get to the show, we are actually surprised and we're not like, oh my God, when is this coming up? 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 Right? And the other thing about Love and Marriage Huntsville is the same way I kind of feel about Real Housewives of Atlanta and Potomac. The fandom is very toxic. Very, very toxic, right? Because we talk about the fact that Ms. Wanda was talking about Sugar Mama. Now, Ms. Wanda wants to say that, and I know a lot of you guys have said that to me too. Well, Martell was on Dr. Heavenly's YouTube channel and said that the baby wasn't his. I don't know nothing about that, you guys. I've said it plenty of times. I don't know anything about that. I know I saw clips of him talking about it, but, and this is just my broad knowledge of it. From what you guys say is that Martell was questioning a baby that Melody aborted. So I don't know what is what, and I don't care what is what, right? So we know how this started. Melody was on Carlos King's The Nightcap, right, with Monique, the first episode, and she was talking about Miss Wanda's baby daddy was in her DMs. Miss Wanda, if she had a really good comeback, she didn't have to say anything about go find Joe baby daddy. All she could have said was, girl, my baby daddy was in your DMs. Okay, girl, that means that, you know, he is really desperate for any kind of attention that he was stooped so low to come into your DMs. Girl, you should be ashamed or something like that. Just say anything. Like, don't mention it. Because indirectly you did mention her child. You may not have said her child's name, but indirectly you did mention her kid, and I get Melody's standpoint. I get it, right? And you know, as much as they want to say that, and I'm going to agree with them about one thing. Melody Melody is not held accountable for some of the things that she says and does. And I'm gonna give you guys a prime example. Part 1 of the reunion, when they were talking about the fact that she wanted to bring that woman that allegedly Marceau was cheating with on the show. Carlos kind of basically brushed over that shit and didn't go into detail. He actually tried to play like he didn't know anything, but Melody called him on it, said she was on the phone with us, right? So yeah, Melody does not get held accountable for the things that she does, right? But at the same time, when it comes to Ms. Wanda, people make excuses for Ms. Wanda too. Like, y'all can easily say Ms. Wanda was wrong for mention. She didn't say Sugar Mama's name. She didn't say her by name, but she definitely was talking about Sugar Mama. And then the fact that Ms. Wanda, like, you guys got it. You guys know how I feel about Ms. Wanda. I'm not a fan of Ms. Wanda. Ms. Wanda got on, I don't forget where I saw this at, but I definitely did see Ms. Wanda talking about the fact that she could have she could have a picture of the man and the baby, and they look exactly alike. And I know she's not talking about a baby that is not here, that doesn't exist anymore. She was talking about one of her current kids. So for them, Maurice, Letitia, and Marceau, they were all saying, oh, yes, she's wrong, but Melody does this and Melody does that. And then Martell was on Dr. Heavenly's channel saying this. I get what y'all trying to say, but it's bullshit. Was Martell wrong for even giving this any kind of light? Yes, he was. But Ms. Wanda should have never repeated it. I don't give a damn what you and Melody are going through. Don't repeat the shit. Like, it's just that easy. Don't repeat the shit, right? And then Carlos was like, he's kind of astonished about the fact that, excuse me, y'all, very little accountability there, right? Like I just said, you also have very little accountability for Melody. But it is what it is. We're not going to go back and forth about that in the comment section. I said what I said. I think Ms. Wanda was wrong for I think Ms. Wanda was wrong 100%. She was indirectly talking about the child. She may not have said the baby's name, but you knew who she was talking about. Melody, we'll talk about Melody. We can talk about Melody, and I really don't want to, because her attitude is just really rubbing me the wrong way in this reunion. But it is what it is, right? So Carlos at one point, because Ms. Wanda apologized, I believe the apology, like 50% of me believe it, because Melody did make a valid point. Ms. Wanda doesn't think that she said anything about the child, so that's why I say 50%. So Carlos asked Mel, does she think she can move forward with everyone? She says, never. And I was like, girl, then why the fuck are you still on the show? Like, I know that this is your show, but girl, if you don't think that you can move on with these people, just move on. Damn. And then that's when Marceau was talking about Mel not being held accountable for her actions, right? And like I said, I get what he's saying. Now with the whole Ms. Wanda and Melody thing, there's nothing to be for me personally, for her to be held accountable for. But for the things that she's done behind the scenes, yes. But in order to hold Melody accountable for the things that happen behind the scenes, you got to also hold Carlos accountable. Let's be real. And you guys can tell me what you think about that. But let's pause here, you guys, and wrap up the reunion. All right, you guys. So the reunion ends with us. We've added Destiny and we've added Stormy to the couches, right? Baby, have they fired Big Tootie Lou and Tiffany? Like, have they fired those two? Because, I mean, we are in part 2 of the reunion, and there's 3 parts to the reunion, and next week it concludes, and we ain't saw Tiffany or Lewis the first, right? And you guys know how I feel about Tiffany and Lewis. You guys know I don't care for them, and I would be remiss to never see them again. I know she's pregnant. Hell, that would be her storyline. But you know what? When I think about it, with Tiffany and Lewis, did they even have a storyline this season? Did they have a storyline? I can't remember. Because y'all know how I feel about Tiffany. Again, y'all know how I feel about Tiffany and Lucy. Y'all know I brush over them very fast, right? But Stormy and Destiny have joined the couches, right? Stormy looked beautiful. I was kind of confused about Destiny's dress. I don't know what it was trying to give. Because it wasn't an ugly dress, but it wasn't the best looking dress either. It looked like it was, honestly, her dress looked a little ill fitted. It didn't look like it was tailored to her body because it looked a little, because her, up here, up top, it looked like, maybe that's how it was designed, but it just didn't sit right on her body, and it didn't look right. The hair didn't go with the dress. Like, she should have done a different hairstyle for the dress. But I do know that Destiny had a mishap. I think I remember hearing that Destiny did have a mishap with her, because she had something else that she wanted to wear, but she had a mishap. So it wasn't a good looking dress, but it wasn't just the worst, right? So we show what happened with Destiny and Stormy with Galentine's Day. We showed them when she was when Stormy came to Madani with the Gucci bag, and then we showed them when they met up and had the conversation with each other, right? So we talk about Galentine's Day and, how things went left. And, Stormy, I have to say I have a lot of respect for Stormy, right? Because Stormy was like, her, and I think Stormy had well and good intentions when she went into Galentine's, and she kept trying to figure out what the issues were between Melody and Destiny. I just think at that time, and I know I said it, she was overstepping. Like, that had nothing to do with you. She should have minded your business, right? Let Destiny and Melody handle that situation, right? And she says, the way that she was saying it, it wasn't conveyed the way that it wasn't coming across the way that she wanted it to come across. So, that was that. And so Carlos asked her, do you think that Destiny is aggressive? She says, no, I don't think Destiny is aggressive. She said, if Destiny's aggressive, then I'm aggressive, right? So then Carlos talks about how the fans of Love and Marriage Huntsville says that, Stormy is ratchet, this ain't Love and Hip Hop. Now, I know I was one of those people that said that this show has turned into Love and Hip Hop Huntsville, right? And with that fight with Stormy, with that altercation with Stormy and Destiny, it was very much so given Love and Hip Hop Huntsville. Now, did I think then, and do I think now that Stormy is ratchet? No, Stormy is country. There's a difference between ratchet and country. I'm country, and I can see it in her. I can see it in all of them. Like, we're all in the South, so we're all country as hell. So I see some of myself in all of them. We're just country people. We're not ratchet. We just country. Now, Galentine's Day, when it comes down to Stormy and Destiny, I don't think that either one of them are ratchet. I just think that what happened was a little on the ghetto side. You ain't got enough of me, bitch. Like, all that kind of stuff. Like these, and I said it then, and I'm gonna say it again. Those are professional women, and I think that was just the issue, was the fact that these are professional women. Y'all are arguing over, and that's what it was for me when it comes to Galentine's Day. The argument with them was so stupid. That was dub, that was dub, that was dub, that was dub. Like, the that was sub, that was really stupid and childish. That was what was. I think that was what the stupidest thing for me was. It was kind of reminiscent of Sheree and Marlo when they were in Africa on Real Housewives of Atlanta. That is very reminiscent of that. Childish. Like, what are we arguing about, right? But Destiny and Stormy, they are in a good place with each other. And, they both say that Galentine's Day was an isolated incident. So they're good with each other, right? So that's that. And like I said, I do not believe that Stormy is ratchet, ghetto. I applaud her so much, right? So then Carlos brings up, Destiny, about the fans saying that Destiny, she doesn't have a storyline. I knew last week when they played that clip at the end of the episode that Carlos wasn't saying, why are you on this show if you're not in love and you're not married? I knew he was going off of what he sees on social media, right? Because you guys know Carlos is always on social media. Every episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, DC, and Bell Collective, he is right there on Twitter, reading the comments, reading the tweets, Sometimes he'll respond to the tweets because he's responded to me quite a few times on Twitter with Bell Collective, Love and Marriage Huntsville, and Love and Marriage DC. So yeah, he does see everything that's said on Twitter. So he addressed Destiny. Now, when it comes to Destiny, you know, I feel like Destiny probably does show things on the show, but you guys know how it is when it comes to editing. They will cut shit out because they probably feel like it might be boring. I don't know how. If Destiny comes back, I do hope that Destiny brings more to the show. I mean, talk about Madani. Again, I ask this question a lot. Is Madani even open? I don't know. But talk about Madani. Talk about your relationship. I know she couldn't talk about her and LaBuick, right? I know she couldn't talk about her and LaBuick. And y'all told me she didn't have a gag order, but she said for legal reasons she can't talk about LaBuick. That sounds like a gag order, you guys. I know that some of you guys have said to me, she said on live that it wasn't. Then she said y'all go back and watch the clip. She said she can't talk about her ex for legal reasons. That means, I believe, that to me sounds like he put a gag order on that ass. But, you know, that's really kind of where the reunion ended. Let me know what you guys thought about part 2 of the reunion in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, and share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe. Take care of yourselves, you guys. Wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.